Hello and thanks for joining me for another video. Today we're going to be working on this simple poinsettia card, and this is a very easy card. I started this not really knowing what I was going to be doing completely with it, and wound up only taking about 17 minutes to complete the card. So as showing you there, I'm going to be working with the Poinsettia Burst stamp and die sets, along with the Flannel Life background stamp there. And all these products will be listed over on my blog, or if you're on YouTube, they'll be in the description below the video. So I'm inking this Flannel Life background stamp up with the Cool Pool True Color Fusion ink, and I'm just making sure I really get this well inked. I want it to be very even, so I'm using my bone folder to make sure that I get every part of the cardstock pressed against that stamp. I am going to just rub it just a little bit with my fingers, just again to make sure that I get a good coverage on that stamping. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stamp my flowers. I am going to be using Cranberry Bliss True Color Fusion ink to stamp the flowers, and I'm going to be coating them in embossing powder immediately after. That fusion ink does have a little bit of a dry down time. It's not much, but it is a little bit, and it's enough that gives me the ability to use embossing powder on top of the stamped image. I am using a custom blend of embossing powder. I have created this using Fun Stamper's Journey clear embossing powder along with their sparkle dust. I just mix the two together and store it in a little separate container. So I stamped my image, and I'm going to go ahead and immediately coat it with the embossing powder to make sure I'm getting a nice even coverage on it. And then I will go ahead and stamp my additional images. I do have a little bit of time to do this without that embossing powder falling off. So when I originally started this card, I wasn't entirely sure how many flowers I was going to need. So you're going to see that I stamped two of these larger flowers. In the end, I only wind up using one of them, but I can save the third one for another card. And after I stamped those two larger flowers onto my panel, I realized I didn't leave enough room for the smaller flower on there. So I went ahead and grabbed another piece of whipped cream so I could stamp this smaller flower and get it coated in the embossing powder. And now I'm going to go ahead and bring my heat tool in and get that embossing powder completely melted on my stamped image. I really like using this blend of embossing powder rather than using an adhesive with the glitter, because the embossing powder, when it melts, it traps that glitter onto the image. So you can rub on it or you can just shake your card. You're not going to have glitter fall out like you would with glitter that's put on adhesive. So it just makes it a little bit cleaner of a style. So I'm bringing in my Journey Platinum machine, and I'm going to go ahead and cut those flowers out. Now there is a trick to lining up the die for this larger flower. If you look at the upper flower on the left hand side, you'll be able to see that that center petal that you can see actually is a little bit smaller. So if you line the die up based off that particular petal, you'll be able to line the die up really quick without having to twist and turn to figure out which direction that die is supposed to go. It's just a nice, easy trick to make die cutting that flower a little bit simpler. I'm going to get that last flower cut out, and then I'm going to get rid of the platinum machine so I can get back to my work surface here. And then bring my pieces in. So I am going to trim down this background panel. And what I'm going to start out doing is just trimming a little bit off of the edge there. I had a little bit of a white edge, so I want to make sure that that is removed first. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim down to 3¼ inches wide by 4½ inches tall. This is going to give me a nice 1/2 inch border all the way around my card. So now that I have that trimmed off, I'm going to go ahead and lay my flowers out on the card panel because I'm going to do a little bit of stamping and I kind of need to see the placement on here. So I'm going to stamp this leaf to go with the poinsettias in Fresh Forest ink, but I'm stamping it directly on that patterned panel. So using where I lined up those flowers, I'm stamping that first leaf, then I'm going to kind of line them up again just to make sure on this second leaf. And then the third leaf is going to go so that these leaves are kind of laid out in a little bit of a triangle. That gives it kind of a natural look. I'm going to go ahead and attach this larger flower using Easy Glide adhesive and attach it directly to my panel. And then I will use a foam square to attach the smaller flower. Then I'm going to bring in a whipped cream card base. Now this is just an 8.5 by 11 sheet of cardstock cut in half along the long side at 5.5 inches and then folded in half. And I'm going to add the panel to the center of that card. And originally I thought I was going to use the Easy Glide, but I changed my mind and I'm glad I did. It did look better having a little bit more dimension to it. So use those foam squares to pop up that panel. And just taking off the backing, and then I'm going to center that out onto my card front. And I got this done and I realized I'm not using a sentiment on this, so it did need just a little something to make it pop a little bit further. So I went and grabbed my Fashion Gold pieces. I really like these as an embellishment. They are a mirrored gold, so their surface is actually mirrored rather than it just being a gold color. This makes them look a lot more metallic gold than some of the liquid embellishment that is out on the market, because those are just colored gold. So I love the mirrored surface with this, and they do come in silver as well. And that is the card for today. It's very simple and easy, like I said, and it's going to be an easy one to make multiples of. I hope you found it inspiring. Thanks for joining me, and much love to you all.